Rosa is a rare brawler that has been in the game for over 4 years. She can be compared to El Primo. Both are tanks, which punch, and have a short range, but for some reason everyone forgot about her, unlike El Primo, which continues to be a fan-favorite brawler. So what happened to Rosa? Why is she forgotten? Did Supercell do anything to her that made her unplayable? Today we will be uncovering the story of Rosa and how she went from broken to forgotten. Rosa was released into Brawl Stars on April 26, 2019. She was the first ever new rare brawler to be added, since the other rare brawlers like Barley, El Primo and Poco were already in the game. Because she was a rare brawler, everyone could unlock her really easily by opening only a couple of boxes, which caused every match to be filled with people playing Rosa, and for people who didn't have any boxes saved up, they could just buy her for only 19 gems. During her first few days, she was any Brawl Stars player's biggest fear. Being able to charge up her super with only 3 ammo, which already dealt about 6k damage at max level, and a super that lasted 6 seconds that gave her an 80% shield, she was basically unkillable. If we do the math, Rosa had 7,000 GP at max level, and with her super up, she had an astounding 35,000 GP. This made it so no brawler could break through her shield, and with her quick supercharge rate she could cycle supers like she was Stu. But these were the first 4 days of her being in the game. Let's move on to April 30th, 2019, where she got 2 nerfs. The first nerf was a decrease of her super protection. From 80% it went down to 70%, which is also the amount it's at today. Her super duration was also decreased to only 4 seconds instead of 6. This made it so it was more difficult for her to chain supers, which made it easier for other brawlers to counter her, since she's pretty weak without her super up. She seemed pretty balanced for now, but Supercell would come back later to pull out their Nerf gun again and shoot some more balance changes at her. May 21st, 2019, only 3 weeks after her last nerf, 3 more balance changes happened, which were all for the worse in Rosa's sake. The needed hits for her to charge up her super was increased from 9 to 10, which might not seem like a big nerf, but this made it so she needed to use 4 ammo to charge up her super instead of 3. Her supercharge rate was decreased again, this time from 4 to 3 seconds. Lastly, her plant life star power was nerfed. It used to heal 300 HP per second, but this was changed to 200. Let's compare the newly released Rosa with the Rosa 3 weeks after. Her supercharge rate got decreased by 11%. The damage reduction from her super got decreased by 10%. Her super duration got nerfed by 50%, and her star power got nerfed by 33%. Surely this couldn't get any worse, right? Well, it could, because 3 weeks later she again got nerfed even more. Her attack damage went from 480 to 460 per punch, which was a small 4% nerf, but still, it was a nerf. Was this the only thing? No, of course not. Her supercharge rate needed to be decreased even more, from 10 to 11 hits. This wasn't as substantial as the nerf from 9 to 10 hits, but it was still bad for her. These 2 nerfs were also the last nerfs given to her ever. As a matter of fact, she didn't receive any balance changes for over 3 years. That was, however, until recently, she finally got the tank trait, which lets her charge her super by taking damage. On September 18th, Rosa received her first buff. It was a small HP buff that gave her 200 more HP, and 3 weeks later it got buffed by 200 again. At this point, her HP went from 5,000 to 5,400, which helped with her survivability. Her Thorny Glove star power was also buffed with 10%, so that it would now deal 220 damage extra instead of 200. At this time, Rosa didn't receive any changes for 357 days, until the last ever change happened on the 10th of September in 2020. It was just too hard for Rosa to charge up her super, so her supercharged rate got increased to the amount it had when she was released, 9 hits instead of 11. These were all the balance changes that happened the past 4 years. Now let's go over the reasons why I think almost no one plays her. Rosa is by far the least played brawler at the moment. With only a 0.45% use rate, it's one of the lowest user rates the game has ever seen. The low usage can't be because she's hard to unlock, since almost everyone has her, seeing that Rosa is a rare brawler. To better understand the low use rate, we need to dive into the meta. If you don't know what a meta is, it basically shows what brawlers are the best picks at the moment. Metas differ between game modes, and balance changes have a huge impact on it. Let's take Shelly, for example. She used to be in the top 5 worst brawlers in the game, but with one tiny balance change that changed her movement speed, she became the best brawler. This is a problem for Rosa, since Shelly is an absolute menace if you're a tank. Anyways, the meta right now consists out of long to mid-range brawlers like Crow, Jean, Squeak, etc. That's an issue for Rosa, since she's a close-range brawler that can't do anything against enemies that can outrange her and run away. She's only good on bushy maps, but Shelly is also really good on these maps, and Rosa doesn't stand a chance against her. Despite Rosa having her super up, Shelly can just blast through it like it's nothing. So right now, there's no place for Rosa. With long and mid-range brawlers dominating the meta, together with Shelly, Rosa turns into a punching bag. Now, there were times when Rosa was actually a solid pick. Before Shelly got that speed buff, Ash was the best tank. With him being played so much, people wanted to find a brawler that could counter him, and let Rosa be the right brawler for that. With her massive HP and a shield that Ash could not do anything against, she was actually a good brawler. Unfortunately for Rosa, Shelly got a buff, and Shelly became the best Ash counter, who counters Rosa as well. Judging by the meta, Rosa isn't a good pick, and probably will never be. But is the meta the only reason why barely anyone plays her? I don't think so. You see, brawlers don't always need to be good to be played a lot. Mortis, for example. To be fair, Mortis is absolute dog water, but people seem to play him a ton, with him being the second most played brawler at a 4.04% usage. This is because he's simply a ton of fun to play, dashing around the map. Unfortunately, this is not the case for Rosa. The Rosa experience is spamming auto-aim, supering, and auto-aiming once again. It simply requires no skill, and with her mechanics not being the most unique ones in the game, she's just a boring brawler overall. She can be compared to Jackie and Doug, who also don't need any aiming skill to fight, and are, to be honest, very boring brawlers as well. As you could see, Rosa has been through a lot the past 4 years, with her countering every brawler in the game, to being completely forgotten and barely played. Hope you enjoyed, don't forget to sub, and I'll see you in the next one.